The lock didn't turn. Emily stood there for a second, still holding the grocery bag in her left hand, her house key pressed hard into the metal slot like force alone could make it work. It scraped, stopped, refused. She pulled it out. Tried again. Nothing. Inside the house, the lights were on. That was the part that didn't make sense. Her father was in the ICU. He hadn't been home in 3 days. And her sister didn't live here. Emily stepped back slowly, heart tightening in a way that felt too sharp for something as simple as a door. She checked the address. Same house, same porch. Same small crack in the second step that she had tripped over as a kid. Everything was the same. Except a lock. She knocked, no answer. She knocked harder. Still nothing. Then she reached for her phone. 3 missed calls from the hospital. 1 voicemail. She didn't play it, not yet. Her chest was already too tight. Instead, she dialed the only other person who had a key. Her sister. The call rang once, twice, then picked up. A pause on the other end, and then a calm voice. Emily, you shouldn't be there right now. That was the moment something inside her dropped. Not confusion, not fear, something colder, more final. Emily's voice came out slower than she expected. Why doesn't my key work? Another pause. Then, because I changed the locks. Emily didn't respond right away. She looked at the door again. The handle, the key, the tiny scratches around the lock that hadn't been there before. Changed. Not broken, not stuck. Changed. She swallowed. Why? Her sister didn't answer immediately this time. In the background, Emily could hear movement. Not hospital noise, not urgency, just normal life, because someone had to take responsibility. Emily blinked. Responsibility for what? For the house, for Dad, for everything you've been ignoring. That word hit harder than it should have. Ignoring. Emily let out a short breath. I've been at the hospital every day. No, you've been visiting. That's different. Emily closed her eyes for a second. The kind of sentence that sounded reasonable if you didn't know the full story. But she did. She knew exactly how many hours she had spent sitting next to her father's bed. How many nights she had slept in the plastic chair. How many times she had signed forms because her father couldn't. She opened her eyes again. You changed the locks without telling me. Yes, just like that. No hesitation, no apology. Emily shifted her weight slightly on the porch. That's my house, too. A small pause. Not anymore. Emily felt it this time. Not confusion, not shock. A clear, rising pressure in her chest. What does that mean? It means Dad signed over temporary control before he went under. The words didn't land all at once. They broke apart. Temporary. Control. Signed. Emily frowned. He couldn't even speak that morning. The doctor said he was barely responsive. Another pause. Then her sister's voice again, slightly sharper. He knew what he was doing. Emily looked down at her hand. The key was still there. Pointless now. You're lying. I'm not. Then send it to me. Silence. Emily pressed harder. Send me whatever he signed. A longer pause this time, then, I don't have to send you anything. Emily let out a small, humorless laugh. You changed the locks on a house that's in both our names. You're telling me Dad signed something while he couldn't even talk, and you don't have to show me. That's correct. The calmness in her sister's voice was worse than yelling. It meant she believed she was in control. Emily turned slightly, looking down the quiet suburban street. A neighbor across the road was watering their lawn. Normal. Everything looked normal. Except her life had just tilted sideways. I'm calling the hospital, go ahead. The hospital smelled the same. Cold, clean, slightly chemical. Emily walked straight past the front desk. No hesitation. No small talk. She had been here too many times already. Room 312. Her father lay in the same position. Machines steady. Breathing assisted, unconscious. Emily stood beside the bed, watching his chest rise and fall. Then she turned. A nurse stepped in. "Can I help you?" "Yes. I need to know if my father signed anything in the last 3 days." The nurse hesitated. "I'm not sure I can. You can check." Her voice was firm now, controlled, not emotional. The nurse nodded slowly. "Give me a moment." Emily waited. Every second stretched longer than it should. Finally, the nurse returned. There was a form. Emily's chest tightened. "When?" "Yesterday morning." Emily shook her head immediately. "He wasn't conscious yesterday morning." The nurse looked uncertain. "It was witnessed and processed through admin." "By who?" Another pause. Then, "Your sister." Emily sat in the hospital hallway for a long time. Not because she was tired, because she was thinking. Every detail, every conversation, every moment from the past week, something didn't line up. Her sister had arrived late, barely stayed, then, suddenly, control. Emily pulled out her phone, opened the hospital app. Billing, authorizations. There it was. A new authorization form. Timestamp, yesterday, early morning. Emily stared at it, then zoomed in. Signature, it looked like her father's. But something about it, slightly off, too smooth, too consistent. Emily had seen his handwriting her whole life. This didn't feel right. She stood up, walked back toward the nurse station. "I need a copy of that document." Back in her car, Emily spread the printed copy across the passenger seat. The paper felt heavier than it should. She compared it to an older document she had saved on her phone. Same name, same style, but not the same hand. She zoomed in further. The pressure points, the slight shake her father always had. Gone. This signature was clean. Too clean. Emily's fingers tightened around the paper. Then her phone buzzed. A text from her sister. "You should stop before you make this worse." Emily stared at the message, then typed slowly. "You forged it." No response. She looked back at the paper again. Then something else caught her eye. A witness signature, not the nurse, not a doctor. A name she didn't recognize. Emily frowned. Who was that? Emily drove straight back to the house. The same house, her house. She didn't try the key this time. She knocked, hard. The door opened after a few seconds. Her sister stood there, calm, composed, like nothing was wrong. Emily held up the paper. "Who is this?" Her sister glanced at it. "A witness. That's not a hospital staff member, so you brought someone in." No answer. Emily stepped closer. "You knew he couldn't sign. You knew." Her sister's expression shifted slightly. "Just enough to notice you always think you're the responsible one. This isn't about that. It's about control." Emily stepped into the doorway. Her sister didn't stop her. That alone said everything. "You don't get to lock me out. I already did. You forged his signature. Prove it." Emily held up both documents. "This is his real signature. This is what you submitted. They are not the same." Her sister crossed her arms. "Close enough." Emily stared at her. "Close enough. That's your defense." "No, my defense is that Dad trusted me." Emily shook her head slowly. "Dad trusted both of us. Not equally." The sentence landed like a slap. But Emily didn't react, not outwardly. Instead, she took a small step back. "You made a mistake." Her sister frowned. "What mistake? You used the wrong witness." Emily pulled out her phone, dialed, put it on speaker. "Hello, hi. I'm calling to confirm if you were present at St. Mary's Hospital yesterday morning to witness a signature." A pause. Then, "No, I don't work there." Emily looked up, straight at her sister. The silence between them stretched, then cracked. 3 weeks later, the locks were changed again, this time legally. Emily stood in the doorway. Same house, same porch, different feeling. Inside, everything was quiet, not empty, just settled. Her father was home now, recovering slowly. Her sister wasn't there, and wouldn't be. Emily stepped inside, closed the door behind her. The lock turned smoothly. This time, it worked. Some people don't break trust loudly. They do it quietly, when no one is looking. The question is, would you have noticed in time?